Welcome back to Network Africa. I am Adeshawa Josh. You can watch the program on youtube.com/channelsweb. And for our viewers outside West Africa, you can watch us live on m.channelstv.com from your laptop or mobile device. Please download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Stakeholders in Somalia's politics and government have held a roundtable talk where they all appeared to agree that the peace and prosperity of the nation comes first. During a two-day national consultative forum that closed in the Somali capital on Tuesday, a ministerial task force was constituted to lead national consultations across Somalia to ensure an inclusive and democratic electoral process in 2016. The task force consists of the Minister of Interior and Federal Affairs, the Minister of Justice, as well as the Minister of Women and Human Rights Development. There will also be ministers representing the regional administrations and members of the Federal Parliament.
We have seen how vibrant, lively the discussions were, how well they went, how orderly they were, how passionate you were to ensure the best possible electoral process for next year. All views expressed have been noted and recorded and will be reflected on further.
This is the first time the Somalis have come together from all over Somalia, meeting in Somalia in a process that is being led and organized by themselves to decide their political future and to decide their path to 2016 and an electoral process. So it is really a very, very significant moment where they are agreeing, hopefully amongst themselves, how to have an election in 2016, and then hopefully they will implement and stick to that agreement.
They are not backing down, as you can see in that video. Students chanting and saying fees must fall and more than ever. South Africa's university students appear resolved to press home their demand for a no-fee hike requirement before they can stop protesting. It's been 4 days now since the students from various universities across the country took to the streets to protest the proposed 10 to 14% tuition fee hike by the South African government. And what started rather peaceful has gone awry, as 29 South Africans have been charged with public violence in the biggest student protest to hit the country since apartheid ended in 1994. Police again fired stun grenades to disperse them in Cape Town a day after protesters stormed the parliamentary complex.
I'm a student and I want to write my exam, so I feel that I do have that thing, but the timing is not perfect. But now my question is, when is the perfect time? When is the perfect time to protest? If we had protested 2 months ago, people would have said, oh no, you shouldn't have protested now, it's too late, you should have done it in January. If we protest in January, oh no, the year just started, you'll scare the first years. If we protest in March, no, we're about to go on holiday. There's no perfect time for a protest. This is not the right time, we're about to write exams. When is the perfect time?
So the education problem within South Africa is a huge issue, because people keep on quoting Mandela and saying that education is the right to access. Basically, it's how we become emancipated from certain things. But at the same time, education has now a monetary price, meaning to get educated you need to be wealthy. And because of our historical legacy, it means many people are disadvantaged. Black people are disadvantaged in this nation.
Well, Sandra Gumbo and Sonia Yonehara from the African Union Student Alliance University of Pretoria, both of them have been protesting all morning, and they join me now from Pretoria. Thank you so much for making our time to speak to us on Network Africa. This is the biggest protest the country has seen since the end of apartheid in 1994. You speak for your fellow students. You and your colleagues want a no-fee hike. Government appears to think otherwise. Is there really a way to resolve this crisis without a compromise on both sides?
Well, first of all, thank you for the time allocated to us. But concerning whether or not a compromise will lead to an actual resolution of the situation, we think that as students and as the youth of the country, we've continuously had to compromise in the past. We've taken every single fee increase that has come along, and we've taken it with a smile, basically, and we've been the one compromising. And now it is the responsibility of the state to compromise on behalf of its citizens. So if you're asking whether or not we're willing to compromise, the answer would be no.
That's quite interesting. President Zuma has decided to meet with university authorities and other student union leaders to end this crisis. If you are speaking, let's say on behalf of most of the students in school, that there will be no compromise, what are your expectations of the meeting then?
Well, we don't see much coming from the meeting as a result of the fact that we're not quite sure who they speak about when they say leadership, as well as the fact that we're not even sure about the position of the government coming to the table to negotiate us on a fair level. So when we see what will come from the meeting, we don't actually think that the government will actually resolve the situation, as there's only one thing that the youth and the student movement want to hear, and that is that there will be no fee increase. And if they're not willing to bring that to the table, then we don't think that anything will come out of this meeting.
So, I mean, some students are also calling for the education minister to resign. Will this actually resolve the crisis or escalate it?
Well, concerning the higher education minister, Bladen Zamande, resigning, we don't believe entirely that it could lead to a resolution of the crisis, but actually it could go a long way to prove to the youth and as well as the students that there is a level of accountability at the government offices. So it would go a long way to prove to us that individuals who have been placed in charge of departments and ministries and the government are proven to be accountable to the mistakes that they make, resulting in these crises.
So there's been a crackdown for the past. It was peaceful all along, and now some of your colleagues are being arrested. How do you see, I mean, what do you see happen in the next couple of days as the situation is being resolved?
I can't speak on behalf of the crisis, but I know that we have leadership from the actual protest movement that are here today. Lulama could actually speak to you about that.
Regarding the violence that's ensuing, I think it's important for us to emphasize that most of the violence, if not all of the violence, is actually coming from the state side in terms of the South African police services, and students have maintained that they want to peacefully protest, but in response to that, they're being met with literally apartheid-esque tactics. I mean, tear gas, rubber bullets. We're not hurting anyone. We never wanted to hurt anyone, and it's not okay that this is how they're responding to us. So far, I want to also speak on the University of Pretoria. There has been no violence at all. There's actually cooperation, sort of cooperation with the Tshwane Metro Police in the sense that whenever we do protest outside of the boundaries of the university, they try to protect us and direct traffic away from us.
We do hope that this whole situation is resolved. I mean, hopefully a compromise might be how it will be resolved, but we can only wait for President Zuma's meeting with the leaders of some student unions, and also, of course, with the authorities of some other universities that would be present in that meeting on Friday. Stay safe, Sandra Gumbo and Sonia Yonehara. Thank you so much for speaking to us on Network Africa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's take a break on Network Africa. The low demand of diamond globally is affecting Botswana's economy as the price of the commodity continues to dwindle. I'll tell you more about it in just a moment.